Hi, it's Paul. This is Science That Sticks, video 3 of 5 steps to revision success. Memory development. If you're interested in this, stick around. If you're not, move on to the next one, because quite frankly, if you don't believe that exercising here and training your brain is every bit as important as training your body for physical success like athletes do, then you're going to be struggling. A lot of students that I've tried to explain this to and explain the validity of this to just aren't interested. However, if you are interested, then you will open up a whole new branch of memory ideas. Your memory will develop on a day-by-day basis, and not only that, but you will find learning things so much easier. And these techniques have been around for hundreds of years. The first two of these, the memory palaces and the memory journeys, these have been around for nearly a couple of thousand years. The ancients used to use memory palaces. So what are they? Let's jump in. The memory palace, you use a venue that you know inside and out. You know where, let's take your home, you know where the hallway is, you know where the front door is, you know where the living room is, the kitchen, you know where your bedroom is, you know where your parents' bedroom is, you know where the bathroom is, you know where the toilet is, you know where all of those things are. But not only that, you know where all these other shelves are, you know where there are cupboards, you know where there are a variety of things that you can store stuff. Now that you've got this base, what you do is you start using your imagination, and you think about walking through your house and you place specific items that you want to learn, and you make them vivid, and you make them massive or small or tiny or smelly or sticky, or you think that they taste like something. You use your imagination. If you don't use your imagination with this, it will not work, because it is a cognitive thing. So you are thinking about this. You could write it, but it is it's fictional writing. But whatever it is that you are trying to do and trying to learn, then you are able to learn something particular, maybe a list. Now, some people on YouTube videos, they use your shopping. I think it's going to be much more powerful for people to use or see an example linked to science. So in another video, I will show a memory palace that I will create for, I don't know, let's say an organic reaction pathway for year 12 or Krebs cycle for A-level biology students. Fantastically, what would be really beneficial is going through a memory palace for the reactivity series, which is what year 9 chemistry students almost inherently have to learn, although there's no real validity for them to learn it, because most questions only ask about 4 or 5 in the row of about 20. So that's what I'll do in the next video. So memory palaces, you know a venue, you use your imagination to put things in different orders. Memory journeys, this is slightly different. So you're thinking about going for a walk somewhere. It might be down to the local park, it might be into town. It doesn't matter where it is. What matters is that you can remember each step of the way. And I don't mean every literal step. I mean, you know where the bus stop is. Then you know where a particular school is. You know where the local Londis is, or whatever. It doesn't matter. But you can identify these landmarks and you can number them. So if you want to learn something in a particular way, so you again use your imagination and you imagine that at one particular point something is happening. Now, what I've done and what I'm trying to do is I'm going to try and learn a full deck of cards from memory in a couple of minutes. The world record's about 15 or 14 seconds. There's no way I can do this at the moment, and I'm not even going to try. And the reason for that is because it requires a huge amount of practice, and I simply do not have the time to practice for that one event. I'm not saying I couldn't do it, just saying, actually I am saying I couldn't do it. Anyway, each step of the journey, you put a number to it and you identify something that you want to learn in that area. Now, memory journeys are superb for anything that is in order. So if you're trying to memorize a Shakespearean play, memory journeys would be for you. So you can imagine the play proceeding through, like you're watching a video, or watching a DVD or a film or a download or whatever, and you identify certain parts at certain aspects of the journey. Write it down just in note form and then try and remember what is there. Again, I will do a video on this specifically to help students out. I will do so with a science example, and I will do so in other examples as well. Number 3, mnemonics. Mnemonics are basically a word that each letter of those words means something so that you can remember certain lists. So for example, if you want to learn the planets of the solar system, my very easy method just speeds up naming planets. Now I whisper planets because obviously P for planets is also P for Pluto, and Pluto is no longer a planet, it's actually a dwarf planet. But my very Mercury, Venus, easy method, Earth, Mars, my very easy method, just Jupiter, speed, Saturn, up, Uranus. Yeah, I didn't say that one. Naming, Neptune, planets. My very easy method just speeds up naming planets. Easy mnemonic. But then, of course, you've got the visible light. Well, visible light is Richard of York gave battle in vain. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Each letter represents a colour. Each letter is a name. You can just say it off exactly how you want. Mnemonics are really powerful, and a lot of teachers try and get their students to learn as many mnemonics as they can to try and help them. Last but not least, in fact actually we're not even last yet, we've got the box method and revision cards. Revision cards are superb. CGP and a few other people are now producing them for students to just look at. They're okay, they're lovely things, they're a bit expensive for what I think students get out of them. You're better off making your own. And when you make your own, the best thing that you're going to have to do with them is write yourself a question with the answer on the back. Use your revision guide to do that. That way you get the right question. Then you can use the box method. The box method is you have 3 boxes. You write all of your questions on your cards for one subject or several subjects or a combination of them. And you put them in box 1. The following day, on day 1, you pick up that selection of cards and you ask yourself the question, and you try and say the answer out loud. If you get it right, it goes in box 2. If you get it wrong, it goes back into box number 1. Day number 2, you pick up box 1 and you go through it, and any that you get right, you put in box 2. Any that you get wrong, go back into box 1. You pick up box number 2. You go through the questions again. If you get it right, it goes in box 3. If it goes wrong, back to box 1, and you continue with this until all of your cards are in the 3rd box or the 6th box or whatever it is that you, however many boxes that you want. So that is an excellent way of revising. Very powerful, very quick, and because you've written your own questions, you will try and make harder questions for yourself, even though it will be easier to just get ones that's already been done for you. Lastly, is mind maps. Now most students, I've advised when they're doing mind maps, is to get a blank sheet of paper, sit down with it and write keywords about a particular field that they want to do. Now some people don't like doing this because they don't know where to start. Well, you start with a few words. You start with one word, so you might start with chemistry, then you might go with atoms and molecules, then compounds, and you might start writing definitions about them. Then you might remember, hydrocarbons, so you might put that over on one side. You might put acids and alkalis on another. You might put periodic table, Dmitry Mendeleev, the structure of the atom somewhere else. And the more that you start thinking about it, the more stuff that you just start writing randomly. If you're not sure how to do this, use your revision guide, create yourself a mind map, and then do so in pencil. And what you do is every day you rub a little bit out so that that mind map has got less on it. And after 2 or 3 days, you try and fill it in with pen. So each time that you try and fill more in, and you try and fill more in, and you try and fill more in, your memory recall gets better for that subject. There's some powerful stuff here. This video is taking a little longer than I would like, but I think it's really worth it. I will spend specific video time on each of these. Keep an eye out for it. Till next time, stay cool. Goodbye, everyone.